What? 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 Oscar night. The stars were out, the boycotters were out. Lots of fun, only a few maimings. Let's talk about the show. The show opened with a montage of a bunch of great movies from last year. Star Wars The Force Awakens, Straight Outta Compton, Avengers, Ant-Man, Creed, Inside Out, even the Peanuts movie. Most of which weren't nominated, and none of which would go home with any awards. Then we were introduced to Chris Rock, the host of the evening, and he was good, clearly being restricted with some of his material, but making the most of it. The opening speech, which is usually a grand show or musical number, was replaced this year with Chris Rock's stand-up act, and it was very much addressing the whole Oscars So White controversy, and a lot of politically driven stuff. Which was funny. I mean, how many awards shows will you get a joke about lynching? No matter how funny it may be, but he was fine. Not quite as risque as Seth MacFarlane, perhaps, but not quite as shiny, safe kind of like Neil Patrick Harris. The audience was polite and chuckled a few times, mostly just waiting for the categories to come up. Speaking of which, let's get to those categories, starting with the writers. And being a writer myself, I of course was very excited. The Oscar for Best Original Screenplay went to Spotlight, Todd McCarthy and Josh Singer, which, very good choice. I would prefer maybe Inside Out or Ex Machina, but that was a very well-written script, very tight, very intense, and so very deserving. I can't quite remember who won for Best Adapted Screenplay. Let me just check here. What the fuck? On to the rest of the show, there were some kind of awkward moments, a lot of them to do with race. Everyone was drawing attention to the whole controversy about the lack of diversity at the Oscars. Chris Rock made a number of comments, and then we got some kind of awkward sketches. Yeah, they took scenes from some of the Oscar-nominated movies and inserted celebrities into them. Whoopi Goldberg, Chris Rock, Leslie Jones, so that one was actually really funny in The Revenant. But for the most part, they were a little cringy. It's like, yeah, hey, we get it, it's a big joke, when really it's not. Later we got a Black History bit with Jack Black. Get it? Because his last name's Black. Look, at least it was better than that Ali G moment. And whoa, Mad Max, what a streak there. 6 wins in a row for, I believe, production design, costume design, makeup and hairstyling, sound editing, sound mixing, and film editing. And wow, what a day. What a lovely day! I thought they were going to win the visual effects too, but that actually went to Ex Machina, which was my choice. Yay! So that was pretty cool. It made immediately less cool by a sequence afterwards with C-3PO. But luckily R2-D2 and BB-8 were there. Star Wars came out this past year, in case you forgot. Easily the winner of the cutest Oscar moment, Jacob Tremblay standing up as soon as he hears R2 and BB-8. That was just adorable, wasn't it? But no Oscar ceremony is complete without some dumb shit, and yeah, we did get some of that. How about Chris Rock handing out cookies? Yeah, remember a couple years ago when Ellen DeGeneres did that wacky thing where she sent pizza to all the celebrities and we got to watch a bunch of rich bastards eat pizza at the Oscars? Yeah, we all loved that, and that apparently got some good ratings, so Chris Rock decided to sell his daughter's cookies to the celebrities. Yeah, that was kind of dumb. And then there were the humorless little yellow clowns, those damn Minions. What were they doing in the Oscars? Because nobody who likes Minions watches the Oscars. Can't they put 2 and 2 together? Oh, that was just the epitome of stupid. No, no. The epitome of stupid was a reminder that 50 Shades of Grey has an Oscar nominated son. Yeah, kinda hard to have faith in the Academy Awards when 50 Shades of Grey is an Academy Award nominated movie. Who thought that was a good idea? Huh? But let's move on, shall we? The Oscar for Best Animated Feature was presented by Woody and Buzz from Toy Story, which is kind of cute, but also kind of awkward. It predictably went to Inside Out, which was great, yay, because Inside Out was my favorite movie of last year. I think it ought to have been nominated for Best Picture, but Best Animated Feature is great too. So take that, Shaun the Sheep. Well, actually, Shaun the Sheep was pretty good. Oh, well. Suck it, Boy in the World. Oh, no, Boy in the World was kind of decent, too. Ah, well. Up Yours, When Marnie Was There. Oh, but I loved When Marnie Was There. Oh, that was a great movie. No, I'm sorry. That was really, really good, too. Jeez. Okay, well, better luck next time, Anomalisa. Yeah, that sounds right. At the Oscars, it's usually customary for many presenters to half-ass it, to talk about things they don't know anything about, stick promptly to a script, and there are quite a few of those in this show, as usual. But there were some nice surprises. Andy Serkis came out and gave a speech for the visual effects Oscar, and that was kind of nice, and especially considering it was preceded by a little tribute to all his work in motion capture. I feel like a nice little apology for the fact a lot of people think that Andy Serkis should have been nominated for a bunch of Oscars, but hasn't been because the Oscars don't count motion capture for some reason. We also got Kevin Hart, and I'm not a fan of Kevin Hart. Yeah, it was kind of cool of him to give a shout out to all the snub black performers. It's really all we needed. Louis presented. That was great. Finally, some legitimate laughs. Awesome. I mean, apart from maybe that bit where Chris Rock went jaywalking and talked to a bunch of folks, mostly black folks, about their opinions on the Oscar movies. Most of whom haven't seen any of them. But to be fair, he didn't ask about Mad Max. Come on. But no, Louis was pretty funny, and yeah, a little hint to the Oscars, maybe let him host next year, huh? Yeah. Oh, and Daisy Ridley and Dave Patel presented, which was a nice little acknowledgement of the fact that the English dub of the Studio Ghibli film Only Yesterday, which features both their voices, was released the same weekend as the Oscars. So, yeah, kudos. Big fan of Only Yesterday. Joe Biden, who came out and talked about sexual abuse on college campuses, followed by Lady Gaga's song about that, and yeah, great. Huh? And one downer followed by another, I guess, too, because we got the In Memoriam segment, which is usually the most depressing part of any awards show, because it reminds us of all the great talents who died this past year, and yeah, we had to be reminded that we lost the likes of Leonard Nimoy, James Horner, Omar Sharif, Maureen O'Hara, Alan Rickman, David Bowie, Christopher Lee. But where was Abe Vigoda? You got Alex Rocco. What about Abe? Huh? Well, let's talk about something happy. How about the fact that Emmanuel Lubezki won his third Oscar, 3 for 3, in fact, after Birdman last year, Gravity the year before. That is pretty awesome. His cinematography in The Revenant was terrific, and I mean, he is possibly the best cinematographer working today. It was great. And then Ennio Morricone, finally, after all these years, winning for Best Score for The Hateful Eight, which, not his best score, but still, great service to him. Did you notice that he sings to John Williams? Wasn't that awesome? But if you don't know John Williams or Ennio Morricone, you might know Sam Smith, who won for Best Original Song for Spectre. Though it is a pretty safe bet that any year a Bond movie comes out, that movie's getting the Song Oscar, huh? Well, at least it didn't go to 50 Shades of... Then there are the big ones. You know what I'm talking about. The one that the internet is going crazy over. Yeah. Alicia Vikander for Best Supporting Actress. Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, she was terrific in The Danish Girl, and she's been a rising star all year in this, and Ex Machina, and The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and so it's just wonderful to see her win that. Best Supporting Actor went to Mark Rylance, kind of out of left field there for me, I thought. He was good in Bridge of Spies. Not quite as good as Tom Hardy, I thought, or indeed the unnominated Idris Elba for Beasts of No Nation. But that was pretty great. Alejandro Gianarrito won for Best Director, making a whole bunch of George Miller fans really angry. I did think George Miller deserved it more. So did Todd McCarthy and Ridley Scott. But, you know, Alejandro was fine. It is a rare honor being given an Oscar for Best Director 2 years in a row, and so I don't know if he quite deserved that, but it was okay, I guess. Best Actress went to Brie Larson for Room. That's Room, not The Room, and that was just incredible too. Again, terrific performance, easily would have been my vote too, and so that was wonderful. But guys, we've come to the end of an era, because Leonardo DiCaprio has finally gotten that little gold statue. Yes, the internet can finally shut up about Leo whining and not getting an Oscar. He's finally got one to put on his frickin' mantle, and that's nice. And Leo was great and accepting it too. And yeah, he did kind of deserve it. Maybe not as much as Michael Fassbender, but yeah, sure. It's nothing I really would be angry over. Acceptance speech was kind of interesting too. He went off on a tangent about climate change. It was a little distracting, but you know what? It was fine in the end, because it was followed by the winner of Best Picture, Spotlight. Wow, I mean, I was thinking it might go to The Revenant, which I'm grateful it's not. I like Spotlight a lot more, and that was a much grander win too. It really felt it, and you could see all the cast and crew coming together, and they were so happy about it. Good on them. Spotlight really was a great movie, worthy of getting that Oscar. Not quite as worthy as a couple movies this year, but it certainly deserves something. And you know, this is the second year in a row that Michael Keaton has been the star of a Best Picture winner. And the show ended bringing it full circle with the playing of the soundtrack of Straight Outta Compton. Again, reinforcing the idea that, yeah, the Oscars snubbed a bunch of people, a bunch of movies this year, and they really hammered it in, didn't they? Overall, the show was fine. The results were fine. Nothing huge. I can't see this being a show that's gonna really change how people view the Oscars, or how the ratings improve. I don't see if that young demographic they're looking for are necessarily going to tune in or have been interested. But it was okay. There were some surprises, some misfires, and some politics, a whole lot of just awkward. We're not racist, guys. We're not. And just sort of all that cheese you expect from the Academy Awards. What did you think? Who do you think should have won, nominated or not? And do you have any hopes for next year's Oscars? There were a lot of snubs last night, so now I'm going to go back through all the categories and list off those snubs, starting with sound mixing.